Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a book called Grunts by Mary Gentle. If you haven't read anything by her, I'm somewhat surprised, but at the same time not. I had not run into any of Mary Gentle's works until I was looking at, I believe it was a D&D manual, actually, and the manual said something about inspirations for this work or something of that nature, and it went through a bunch of different fantasy books, and it introduced me to this particular author. One of the first books I read by her was actually Rats and Gargoyles, which is part of her Rat Lords series, which I'll talk about another time. But it led me to this book, Grunts. This is somewhat out there as far as premises go. So, in a world where the light and the dark are constantly at battle, it's come down to the final war between good and evil, and the Dark Lord is amassing his forces to finally try to push back against the light. But the dark has never won against the light. And this is a common trope in fantasy where the light always wins. And there are a couple of fantasy novels. I've actually reviewed one on my channel, Villains by Necessity, where the bad guys actually win. Now, if you're thinking about the bad guys winning and turning the world into a dystopia, that doesn't happen in Villains by Necessity. It's very different. You should go check out that video. But anyway, Grunts, what happens is the Dark Lord sends out a group of orcs to find a treasure trove, a cache of weapons and treasures that was guarded by a dragon. When they get there, what they find is a bunch of modern-day weapons. And that's why you look at the cover here. There's one orc that's got a hammer poised to hit the other orc on the head, but the other orc is looking down the barrel of a very modern-looking assault weapon. And the orc in the background is shooting off a bazooka or something by accident. The cache of weapons is actually weapons from modern day Vietnam era. I shouldn't say modern day, but what I should say is our world Vietnam era weapons. And what happens is there's a curse laid upon these weapons, and when the orcs take them, the orcs fall under this curse. And the curse is the curse forces the orcs to start acting like U.S. Marines. Yeah, I mean, what can you say to that? It's at times silly. The orcs are running around and calling each other sergeant and captain and all this stuff, and saluting as a U.S. Marine would, firing off automatic weapons at dragons and other fairy tale and fantastic creatures who are completely thrown for a loop that these orcs are now no longer an unruly mob, but are striving to live up to the ideals and the practices of the U.S. Marines. In fact, there is a displaced human from our world that ends up there who is a Marine, and they immediately recognize that he's a Marine, run over and salute him, and he's thinking, what on earth is going on here? There's a bunch of these green monsters running around, dressed in and using our military equipment, and they're saluting me. What is going on here? So it's a very interesting take on the orcs are used as cannon fodder, and the orcs are disposable. And I mean, possibly you could read into it the ideas of the author, and I personally found it an enjoyable read. There were a couple places where it was a bit rocky as far as the prose goes, but that just might be my own preconceived ideas on how the text should flow. But I have enjoyed the books by Mary Gentle that I have read. I've looked into her back catalog, if you will, and I haven't by any means read most of what she's written. I've only actually read one of the books in the Rat Lords series, and now that I know there's more, I probably should go find them, because I did enjoy Rats and Gargoyles, and that's why I moved on to finding Grunts and some of the other stuff that I've read by her. So if you're interested in kind of one of those mashup fantasy stories that has a dash of sci-fi, dash of modern military thrown in, go ahead and give Grunts a read. It's a very good book, and please let me know what you think. If you've read it, or if you think that this is something that you'd like to read, go ahead, comment down below, like and subscribe, all of the other stuff, and and until next time.